welcome to another episode of What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? I'm your host, Karen E. Osborne, author of 4 novels. My latest one, True Grace, is historical, 1924, Harlem Renaissance. Worth a look. And wait till you meet my guest today. So I'm so excited. Hey, John Ellison.
Karen, how are you?
I am great. I am so glad you're with us. So, John, let me tell you a little bit about John, but he's going to tell you all about himself. He is a Grammy winning, celebrated musician, singer, songwriter. And that would be enough, right, to have him on, famous singer and songwriter. But he's written a book. He's written an autobiography, and he named it after his most famous song, Some Kind of Wonderful, which I remember well. And it's called Some Kind of Wonderful, the John Ellison Story. And he's going to talk to us today about his writing. So, John, tell us a little bit about your roots and how that impacted both your songwriting and your writing your first book.
Well, I have to go back to my childhood. And I started playing guitar because my father was a guitar player. I'm going to back up a minute for a few seconds, actually. My father was a coal miner,
Mm,
and he he moved to West Virginia, met my mom, they got married, and they had 6 children. So my dad, in his spare time when he was not working in the mines on the weekends, he would take out his guitar and he would play the guitar and sing songs, and all the kids we would gather around. And so at age 13, one day I picked up the guitar. I said, "Let me see if I can play this thing." So I started strumming on it, and the first thing I played on it was "My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean." My body lies over the sea. And I thought, wow, this is easy. So, and I became hooked. So after I learned to play that, then I just started everything I heard on the radio, I would try and play it. And I found it very easy. I didn't take any music lessons. It's just something that came naturally to me. At age 14, I decided to enter a contest at my school. The school was hosting a talent contest, so I asked to be on it, and I won. I had learned to play one song really good, which was a song by Chuck Berry called "School Days." And so when I walked out on stage, they called my name, and I walked out, and I started playing, and I knew right away that was what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't
mm,
want to do anything else. Uh, my father being uh, the father of 6 boys, his idea of being a man was physical hard labor. That made you a man. So when he found out I was serious about earning a living playing music, he was totally against it. And every time I picked up the guitar, it irritated him. And he would make me put it down and tell me to find some work to do. I would wait until he went to bed at night, and I would get out of bed and I would go downstairs and I would take the guitar and I would practice. Well, we at age 14, my father lost his job, so he was
mm,
out of work for two years, from 1954 to 1956. And during that time, I mean, we really, really suffered in terms of having food to eat, and I dropped out of school. I took a job working at a hotel to help ends meet. All the money I made, I was working from 11 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
And all the money that I made, I brought it home and I gave it to my mom and dad. At first, I tried to go to school during the day. I would work from 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning, and then
Mm,
I would take the bus to school. But I found myself falling asleep in school because,
mm.
I wasn't getting any rest.
Yeah.
So I had to decide. So I had
Are
to
you the
decide.
oldest? Are you the oldest
Now
child?
I'm the second oldest.
Second oldest. Okay.
Uh, so I decided, okay, I have to get out, quit school, and just focus on working. I would take my guitar to work, and in the wee hours of the morning when things were sort of quiet, because the work I was doing at the hotel, I was a bellhop. I would meet and greet people that came in to check in the hotel. I'd take their luggage up to the room, and uh, and also my job was to clean the the area, the
Hmm.
floor, mop the floors and that sort of thing, maintenance work. And around 4 o'clock in the morning, it was usually quiet, so I'd take my guitar and I would play it. And the manager, he loved hearing me playing the guitar, and so there came a time where in the town where I was working, it was a little town called Welch, West Virginia. They started advertising on the radio that they were going to have a contest, and the winner would win $500 and a trip to New York.
Wow.
So I figured this was my opportunity. So I signed up to be a contestant on the radio. And the day of the day that it came, the day that we were supposed to come into the radio station, all the contestants came on that day, and I was the only black person there. And they had an intercom above the door where the judges were, and they would call everyone's name over the intercom. And so everyone that went in and auditioned, you could hear what they were singing through the intercom. And so everyone that went in, I knew I was better than they were. So finally, I heard my name. They called my name, and I went into the judge's room, and he said, "Okay, what are you going to sing?" And I said, "I'm going to sing a song by Chuck Berry called School Days." So he said, "Okay, let's hear it." So I started playing, and within 30 seconds of me playing, one of the judges held up his hand and he said, "That's it, we have a winner." He
Wow.
said, "This contest is over." Well, I smiled to myself and I walked out of the room. And when the door closed, because of the intercom being above the door, they started arguing. One judge asked the other one, said, "What do you mean we have a winner?" And the other judge said, "Well, this guy's great. No, who can be better than this? No one's going to be better than this guy." And he said, "I don't care how good he is. He's a nigger.
Mhm.
And there is no way we're going to let a nigger win this contest."
Mm.
And when I heard that, it was like someone put a knife through me. Because up to that point in my life, I had never experienced uh, any blatant racism.
Yeah. That kind of hate.
And I could have accepted that if I cheated or if I wasn't good enough. But I lost because of something I couldn't change, which was my skin color.
Yeah.
It made,
Yeah.
it made
So
me angry.
I'm
I'm sorry, go
sure it
ahead.
upset you and made you angry. But we're just a 20-minute show. So you got to fast forward for me.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
Hello, sweetheart.
I'm on the phone. I'm sorry,
It's
Karen.
all right. It's all right. We've had children, we've had pets. It's
Okay.
It's all okay. He just wants to hear his grandpa. It's all right. He's
And so
adorable. So you just have to fast forward for me.
okay, so what it did for me, it made me more determined to prove that no one can stop me. So
Mm,
uh, I like I said, I got angry, but it just made me more determined. And I look back at that door and I said, you know what? You think you stopped me? I'm gonna show you. You cannot stop me. And
yeah.
with that attitude, with that in my mind, uh, I about 6 months later, I bought a one-way ticket from West Virginia and to Rochester, New York. I
Why
arrived in Rochester,
Rochester?
because I had a cousin in Rochester that
Ah,
I thought owned a home, and but he was renting a room from someone. And when I arrived at the house, the person that owned the house told me to come on in. She said, "Your cousin is renting a room from me. He does not own this house." So she said, "We'll talk to him and see what how you guys can work it out." Well, when my cousin came home, he told me I needed to go back to West Virginia because he didn't have anywhere for me to stay. The
hmm.
lady that owned the house said to me, I have some room in my attic. If you'd like to go up in the attic, there's a cot up there, and you can stay up there until you get on your feet, that's what I did. And eventually, after a couple of weeks, I got a job washing dishes in a restaurant, but my mind was on my music. Just to give you, and I had a vision, and just to let you know how certain I was of what I was going to do. Two businessmen came into the restaurant at one point while I was mopping the floor, and one said to me, "I'm sorry, sir, I don't mean to track up your floor." And I said, "Don't worry about it, sir." I said, "I'm not here anyway." And he looked at me and he goes, "What do you mean you're not here?" He said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm on stage in front of thousands of people singing." And he looked at his friend and laughed. He said, "Okay, if that's where you say you are, who am I to argue with it?" But that's where I was in my mind. I was
That
always
was
where
your
I was going.
mindset. Yeah,
Yes.
determination. So
Yeah.
when you decided to write this amazing story about your life, right? About your
Okay.
music and your life, and so was that
I
hard? Was that daunting? I mean, because it sounds very
it's
comfortable telling me the story. Was it hard to write it?
it was very hard to write it, and the reason I wrote the book is because everyone that I would meet, that I have met, they say, "Oh, you're so successful. You've accomplished so much." Yes, I have accomplished a lot, but no one knows the road that I traveled to get to where I am. It was not easy. And I tell everyone, if you want anything out of life, the only person that's going to hold you back is you. You have to have believe in yourself and believe in God, and no one and nothing can stop you if you have that frame of mind.
So how did that, when you first started writing your own music, not singing other
Right.
people's songs, but writing your songs. Um,
Okay.
where in the journey did that come in? Were you
Well,
established by then,
I
or
I started writing songs when I was 13 years old. As soon as I picked up my guitar, I don't know. It's just something that came natural to me. Uh, I could look at you and I write a song about you. Just it's that easy for me. About our conversation, I can write a song. I can hear a phrase, hear someone say something, or look at someone's eyes, or the the movements of the hands. It's very easy for me. It's really nothing to write a song.
so
I
then
guess
how was it writing a book? Was it as easy as writing a
it was
song as it was?
it, it was as easy, but what it did for me when I was writing the book, it just brought back a lot of pain. things that I had stored in me that I didn't realize it would hurt so bad once I started putting pen to paper, because I have experienced the things that I've experienced in my life. Uh, a lot of people would not be here, but I'm still here. I mean, I've really, you have no idea. The book doesn't even tell half of what I've experienced.
Yeah. So when you were writing the book, because I think writing an autobiography is a daunting task. So while you're writing this and it's bringing back memories of racism and the terrible, terrible things that happened while you were on your path to being who you were meant
Right.
to be. Um, did you have to like walk away from it? Did you
Yes,
stop?
I had to leave. I had to put it down for a while, and then I would come back to it because everything that I was writing was facts. And sometimes while I was writing, I would think, "Wow, did I really go through this? How did I get through it?" But I guess it was just will and determination. Uh, and I didn't feel the impact, really feel it until I really sat down and I thought, wow, I have been through a hell of a lot.
And through a hell of a lot of good things too, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've had an
Well,
amazing
I tell
career.
people, well, I am who I am because of the pitfalls and the hardship that I had to go through. That's what made me who I am. And
Yeah.
I tell people, I told a story once at a school when I was uh, doing some speaking, a motivational speaking. I was
Mhm.
at this college, and I asked a question. I said, "How many in here love sports?" And everybody raised their hand. Then I said, "Okay, if I was the coach and I was looking for football players, basketball players, I said I wouldn't choose you and then say to you, okay, our first game is in 5 months, and so in 5 months I want to see everyone that I've chosen to be on my team. I want to see you on the court, or I want to see you on the field." I said, as soon as the coach chooses his team, he's going to say, okay, tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, I want to meet you on the field, or I'm going to meet you on the court. We're going to run laps. We're going to do push-ups, and we're get going. We're going to prepare ourselves and get ready for this first game. I said, so that's what God asked. I said, and I said, some of you will rise to the occasion. You'll get up 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll do those push-ups. You'll do those. You'll run those miles and laps or whatever you have to do. And I said, but there will be some of you who will wake up and you might do it once or twice, and then you will say to yourself, "The heck with this. I'm not doing it. It's too hard,"
Too hard.
and you'll give up. And I said, the ones that continue to push and strive for what they want, those are the ones that will be rewarded at the end. So
Mhm. So is that the message? Is that the main message of your
that's
book?
that's the main message. And in the beginning of my book, I wrote, obstacles. There will always be obstacles in your way, but they're not put in your path to block you. They use them as stepping stones to step higher, and that's how you will eventually accomplish your goals and reach the goals that you're reaching for.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So
Yeah.
I heard that you're having a big honor coming up. Like, you've had a lot of honors already, Grammy winner and
Mhm.
celebrated. I heard that in May, you've got this really wonderful thing happening. You want to tell us about it?
Yes, in on May 5th, I am being inducted into the Rochester Music Hall of Fame. And the reason for that is because that's where Soul Brother Six, the group that first recorded Some Kind of Wonderful, that's where we were from, Rochester, New York.
Not just in
And
there. So you
I'm very
stayed,
humbled.
you stayed there, right? You stayed in Rochester until
Yeah,
just
and yeah, I stayed in Rochester until uh I met the musicians that I eventually started doing recording with. And so some kind of wonderful came out of Rochester.
mm,
And also, I'm being honored again in June, on June 25th, in my home state of West Virginia by BMI, which is Broadcast Music Incorporated, uh, because my song by June 25th will have uh, received over 6 million airplays. And so
wow,
I'm being honored in West Virginia as well on June 25th.
which is only fitting. Home, your musical home, and your original home. Yeah. Did your dad and mom live long enough to see who you became? And
Uh, Unfortunately, my father, because of his hard work and working in the coal mines, he passed away at a very young age of 58. He got he suffered from black lung, the
yeah,
black lung disease, which a lot of miners succumb to. And my mother, she lived to be 82, so she enjoyed a lot of the benefits. I bought my mom a home in West Virginia, and I was there with her from everything, every moment that I live, even now. I live it to uphold the name Ellison. My father, when he passed away, before he passed away, he said to all of us, he used to say, bring us together. He said, boys, I only got one thing to give you, and that's my name. And he said, a good name is better than all the money in the world. He said, if you have a good name, that name will take care of you. So I have done my best to honor the name Ellison and my father. And every time I pick up my guitar, the first person that comes on my mind is my dad because he was the one that brought music into my life.
that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And so when your book came out, um, because you're known for your music, you're known that, that's what
Right.
people are honoring you for, your creativity and
Right.
your music. When your book came out, how are you making sure that people get a chance to read this and learn from your experience? And
Well, actually, it's in a few stores, but I like to get it out more.
yeah.
So if you can assist me in that, would be great.
Yeah, spread the word. Do you hear that, people? All of you that are watching us today, we need to spread the word. The book is called
And
Some Kind of Wonderful, which I am old enough to have remembered the song well. But some of
and
you
you can
young people,
also, I'm sorry, my website is johnellisonmusic.com. So if anyone,
JohnEllisonMusic.com.
yeah, johnellisonmusic.com. So if anyone is interested in my book, all they have to do is get in touch with me through johnellisonmusic.com, and I'll make sure you get a copy of my book.
Sounds wonderful. That sounds amazing and wonderful. And I hope all of you will do just that. Go to John's website, check out his book, and please, when you do, is there some place that they can contact you on your website?
Yes, there is. You can
That's so they
you
could
can
write you, right?
contact me. Right. Yes, for sure.
Yes. So please write John and tell him that you met him on What Are You Reading? What are you writing? And I would like to know that you have been in touch with John. Just let me know that you've had a chance to reach out to him and that you bought his book and that we have spread the word, that we have spread the word. We have a lot of biography readers that watch this, a lot of fiction writers and readers, but we
Right.
have quite a
Right.
few biography readers. So I think that we're going to get the word out, John.
I appreciate it, Karen. Much appreciated. Also,
It's like,
if you don't mind me saying, uh, if people like good food, I'm sure I'm also an entrepreneur as well, and I created a gourmet seasoning, and it's called Some Kind of Wonderful.
ah,
And you that can be obtained through my food website, which is wonderfulseasoning.com.
wonderfulseasoning.com. And is it spicy
Exactly.
or what is it? What's special
No,
about it?
it's not spicy. It's just some kind of wonderful. It's all natural. There's no MSG in it. It's gluten free, and it's the best part about it is very low in sodium. At the current time, I have it in 634 supermarkets.
Wow. You are
Yeah,
amazing. You are an amazing man. I'm so glad.
it's
I'm so eclectic. I am so glad
and you
that
know
we got
what?
to meet you.
I
We
am
enjoy
so glad to. And if you would like to send me some information, I will definitely send you some of my spice free of charge.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
And
And thank
you're
all of
welcome.
you for staying with us, for watching us. And I hope that you will join me next week. The next episode, what are you reading? What are you writing? Take care, everybody. Have a terrific, terrific week.
Thank you, Karen.